Okay, this is my review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 214, Our Brawl. So, before anything, let me just say the opening page, the colored page, was absolutely breathtaking. Reminded me a lot of the closing from the anime, which is just, I loved how that came out, how it looked. It was definitely one of my favorites. I know there's some controversy over the one outfit, but anyone who knows the series knows she needs a lot of exposed skin to use her quirk. In fact, according to the manga, her original design that she sent to UA was so so skinny, so tiny that they just had to say, no, you can't wear this. Here, we changed up a bit. But yeah, so I get people can be a little upset about that, but at least there's a logic behind it. All right, so then let's just move on to the actual story. So, biggest surprise from this chapter was definitely Eraserhead. He's I had very mixed feelings about him when I first saw him. He was basically in his sleeping bag. I'm like, hey, this looks like a laid back guy, but he's definitely been a stickler for the rules and just very uptight. One thing I love about My Hero Academia Vigilantes is we get another side of him where he's definitely more laid back on the rules and on everything. He's like, oh, vigilante heroes? Yeah, they're legal. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you can work with you. That's fine. You can just do some hero work. Don't worry about it. You're just a citizen doing what's good. And then when they're fighting, he's fighting the boss of the vigilantes. He's like, "Oh, you don't actually have a quirk, do you? All right then, just yeah, it's fine with you causing trouble. I'm a hero. I don't deal with quirkless people." In this one though, he let the fight go on, and I think it's because he really likes Shinso and honestly maybe Midori a bit, but Shinso mostly. He sees himself in him. They had a very similar quirk. Yes, a similar quirk. And Eraserhead had to go through all the training, all the trouble, all the learning how to use his bandages to stop enemies so that he could so he could fight them, so that he could fight. And he's got taken a lot of hits, a lot of beatings along the way, learning how to use them, how to fight without getting killed. And this time, though, he wants Shinso to show everyone what he can do. He wants so that Shinso can get into Class 1A or 1B. I think 1B is more likely, but I'd like to see him in 1A. I think he could be a very interesting counterpart to the rest of the team. I just love the thought of Bakugo just rambling on at him and him just being like, "Shut up," and Bakugo just shutting up. That that would just be hilarious. But yeah, Razorhead was definitely the most interesting. He saw their passion to want to keep fighting, and he let them go on. Then Mineta, I really want to like you sometimes. You were great in this chapter. You made a freaking shield, and then you set up a bunch of your sticky balls. Oh god, that sounds so wrong. That worked not only as a trap but as a bouncing pad for you to get around on. And you saved your classmates, and but then there was all just an excuse to get smashed against your boob. And come on, Mineta, I thought you were doing good. I thought you were growing, but that's Mineta with his great pinky combo Mineta bounce. Eh, I'm definitely starting to see the usefulness of him. I mean, first time we saw him, he literally cried like about how useless his quirk was. Everyone's like, "How the hell did he even get into UA?" And eventually, just realized. I think the author said, "Oh, he used his balls to jam up the robots," which makes a lot of sense. Like I said, I know his quirk seems useless, pointless, ridiculous, but he uses it really well in a lot of good situations, and it has a lot of usefulness. It bounces off of him and sticks to other things. He made it, like I say, he made a freaking shield out of it this time. Definitely did not expect him to do that. So yeah, he's a pervert. He's weird. He's gross. But he's getting more useful, definitely. All right, next up is Monoma, who he's actually a really, really sad character. He actually said in this chapter, I don't possess the right stuff to be a main character. He thinks so little of him. He thinks he's just not worthy of anything, and yet he's also absolutely freaking insane. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, he's probably working for All for One. He's probably All for One's son. That actually makes a lot of sense. I have no problem believing that whatsoever. I mean, his quirk and his are very similar. I could definitely see him doing that, but yeah, he just doesn't think very much of himself, honestly. And yet somehow he's this overwhelmingly arrogant character. It's weird. And then he tried to steal One for All, but he failed. And he didn't seem that surprised. He said, I drew a blank, which maybe makes me think that sometimes his quirk just doesn't work. But that's what I think we were supposed to think. But I'm also starting to think maybe One for All can't be taken. I know that's kind of weird. I know that's kind of out there. But if your brother has the ability to steal quirks, if there's any way that you can avoid having yours stolen, you're gonna want to do that. I mean, One for All, a fully evolved One for All that, as Funky said in the last chapter, it's growing. Once it finishes, once it's complete, All for One, if All for One steals that, he will be essentially a god. He will be invincible. He will be indestructible. There will be nothing in this world that can stop him. So it is possible that maybe One for All just can't be taken. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not sure if it's something the original user did or something that was inherited by one of the other users or something, but I just think somehow it can't be stolen. It can't be copied. Or maybe it was just too big. He tried to steal it, but it's not just one quirk, it's a dozen, half a dozen, so it can't really be taken like that. Maybe down the road, Monoma will get a lot more powerful. Maybe he'll be able to copy it, but for right now, he just couldn't. And thank God, because there's a good chance it would kill him. I'm not even exaggerating. There is a very good chance that if he tried to use One for All, his entire body would just shatter into pieces. I mean, Deku, he's obviously in pretty good shape. He's in the hero course and all that, but Deku trained for 6 months, and the first time he tried it, he still broke both his arms and his leg. No, broke one arm and one leg. So, no, both legs. God, I'm sorry. He broke both legs and one of his freaking arms. And that was after months of training and All Might preparing him for it as best he could. Monoma just getting power out of nowhere and trying to use it. He also probably would have killed Deku because he has no way of controlling that power. So he would have blasted Deku, destroyed his entire body, probably turned Deku into liquid. So yeah, let's just say it's a good thing that he drew a blank. Then on we had the Deku finally using his new quirk, Funky's quirk. And it looks freaking amazing. Seriously, these tentacles that he's shooting out, they managed to stop the pipes from landing on top of him. He also said something interesting. He said that guy's attitude, his voice, his whole vibe felt a lot like All Might's, which made me wonder, could this guy be All Might's father or grandfather or great-grandfather? Could he be an ancestor of All Might and then possibly All Might's teacher's teacher? So we've seen All Might's teacher, I'm blanking on her name, but she chose All Might. Just like, you have an interesting attitude and you want to be a symbol of peace, so I'm going to give you the power. But what if it's not that simple? What if she chose him because of who his father was or who his grandfather was? The one who gave her the power. What if she picked All Might because of that? Because He had the same attitude as the one that taught Ur did. Hard to say, but it's entirely possible. Deku's obviously still going to need a. I know a lot of people are complaining, oh, Deku's OP now, Deku's a god now, Deku can't be stopped now. But I really don't think that's the case. He's been constantly growing, constantly learning. He's got 5 more quirks after this one to learn, and each one is going to take a lot of time, a lot of practice. I mean, this one he just managed to stop 2 beams from falling on top of him. But I mean, Deku is the best possible person in the world to get 6 quirks because of how much time he spent just analyzing, looking up, reading, studying quirks his entire life. He's gonna find the best way to use all of them, use them together. And yes, he's probably gonna be way more powerful because of it, but you can't assume that they're all just gonna be combat-based quirks. Maybe a healing quirk, maybe a visualization quirk, maybe something that lets him read minds or see far away or something. I doubt he's just going to become 1,000 different guns that shoot out different ways. I think he's going to learn new ways, new things that are going to just change how he uses One for All. But yeah, so Funky's power let him basically shoot out webs that grab onto things. Honestly, the final panel kind of looks like he's about to just swing his arms together and smash those pipes into Shinso. I doubt he'll do that, but it's definitely a useful quirk to have for grabbing things or stopping things or pulling people out of danger. Uh, I don't think this battle is going to go much longer. I think next chapter is probably going to be the end of it. And then he's going to have a very, very confusing talk with All Might. All Might, there are 6 people inside! Seriously. That's actually what I want the most from that is Deku, from all this, is Deku talking to All Might's teacher. Him getting advice from her, him being able to pass on a message from her, him getting whatever quirk she might have had. That's another thing. All Might can actually prepare him somewhat for what's coming by saying, okay, I know these 2-3 users and what their quirks were, so you should be prepared for shooting acid out of your eyes or something. But yeah, learning the quirk of All Might's teacher is definitely going to be interesting, and how it's going to affect him. But that's about everything. So this is my review of My Hero Academia 214. I will see you all next week. Bye.